Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, India's G20 presidency, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. So initially, today's commemorations, we'll do it tomorrow because of paucity of time. So today we'll be having session for 1 hour or so as the speaker presents. So we have with us Ravichandran ji. You can unmute yourself, start your video and presentation. You can introduce yourself and introduce your topic and start your presentation.
Dr. Ravindra, you are giving me the connection?
Yeah, I already gave you permission. You can start. You can introduce yours. First, you start your PPT because I don't have your details.
Yeah. Wow.
So you have not sent. So you introduce yourself and share your topic. And you continue with your presentation. And after presentation, complete your formalities.
The sharing is started. You are able to view it?
Yeah.
Right. Some problem, just it's gone into some trouble. Hold it. Some problem happened. Some problem happened, Manipur.
We can hear you. We can see your PPT, but we can't see you.
Yeah, that's what some problem happened over there. Screen background, virtual background need to be removed. Can you guide me how to go? I don't want the, it's somewhere it, by mistake it's got started.
No, you
Virtual
can
screen.
just click on start video.
One. Uh-huh.
Video will start automatically if your camera is connected and recognized by system. You
Can
can
you able to see me now?
Yeah. No, you have to close that window and you click on start video.
Yeah, that's right.
No, you have to click on start video. There might be a red line crossed on start video. You can click on that.
Now it's able to see.
Yeah, now it's visible.
If I put the full screen, my computer getting crashed. I have got an experience of 2-3 times. So I'm just putting it in the smaller view. Huh? So
It's okay, fine. This is also fine.
My system, this is somewhat,
In some systems, there is problem.
Yes, some problem. My computer has got some problem. I need to go for a service because of some bad. Now sometimes it's now starting exactly 7 o'clock. Well, yes, the program is being commemorated for quite some time now, and Dr. Ravindra is taking care of. So, good evening to all of you. There are sets of people always available to us to reach us. The moment we start the session, we are looking at the numbers, not quite important. But the people who are getting benefited, I believe in, even 2 numbers or 10 numbers, 50 numbers are not a matter to us. So I'm specifically looking at how we are benefited on this ground up platform, where repeatedly we are talking about certain psychological areas need to be learned. Even myself need to be learned. Why I do these certain programs? Even my intention is to go with a little deeper and deeper to make you all get benefited is the second. I need to get benefited. So there I start over. I called here, I want to get benefited. So my ego starts here. My ego starts, I would like to learn this topic in a larger, deeper sense of understanding. So that's why I'm trying to share you. So I, the one, Ravi, selfishly trying to learn this program of ego, parallelly trying to share you my experiences to you and make your inner mind to understand what you would like to learn. So that's a very practical essence I'm putting you all across. Whoever is, please do listen this context of ego versus inner mind interest is a very complexity subject. It's a quite conflict communication of ego versus inner mind interest. Why do I repeatedly talk on this topic is we are human with the nature of start from I. My previous session has given a different part of explaining again the same word, but little more essence of adding up the little more detailed, scientifically identified, which was quite shocking to me. Even nevertheless, I also become, the one amongst depressed and learning of something. It's called, the way of new learning makes quite larger essence of sharing between person to person, individual to individual. So let's start. What is this inner mind and what is this ego? Let us talk quite easy understanding. The human, the moment he is born, start with ego is a common. Let's not say ego is what? Ego is a selfish intention. Ego one should not have. Ego is a bad skill. You tell us who is the one all the time good 24 hours, 365 days. Who are the one is always bad 24 hours, 365 days. Nothing. All are all the time moving one to the other to the another. The reason, let's understand very psychologically and spiritually, we are based at nature. The nature of earth rotates on its own axis, which carries day and night, bad weather, good weather, good season, bad season, everything optimally managed to go with good and bad. The similarity, ego, and every intention of the mind, including all the insects, are having its own ego. Now we need to compartmentalize these, how to manage it, how to go with it, how to learn new things by way of understanding about the particular enemy. Ego is the enemy, we call it that. Maybe. Why I say it's a maybe? Because ego is necessary. I don't want to say one should not carry ego. Ego is quite nature. But at the same time, how we are going to cope up with this? How we are going to balance? We talk about work-life balance. We want money making and good learning, good life living. Many things, if you look in, when we rush for it, we don't get it. We try to balance it. We try to balance it. Always there is a situation on road where you go, rush hour, they call it that. Morning between 8 and 10 o'clock, you will always get delayed reaching to your workplace. You look at it, morning traffic, it moves on dead slow. Every vehicle moves dead slow. We call it by rush hour because everybody is trying to reach their workplace, start between 8 and 10 morning, 7 and 10, whatever. The traffic is dead speed, snail speed. but we call it rush hour, rush hours. Where we are rushing? No. So exactly see the meaning of the rush hour means you are at traffic congested, locked in, unable to move faster than the middle of the night driving. So that's all is there. No, it's an operandi to give things. A word is different meaning, but carries the literal meaning is zero. Let's start ego, super ego, identity. We call it id. In HR terms, we always call it as id during my education time. But today, everybody knows ID means identity because we use identity card on our neck like a dog license, go to office, behave like a donkey, behave like a dog manners. On all the time we are rushing for one or the other thing and try to achieve what buy new things and throw the old one, eliminate the new older one, and start keep on buying our upgraded technology, the one we carry at the hand, and we go with buying of early time. We used to go for EMI for two-wheelers, EMI for home, EMI for car buying, furniture, all. Today, mobile phones are given by EMI. Everything is EMI. So anybody who want to have minimum 40,000 in their hand to carry a mobile phone, but his salary paid is nothing beyond 15,000, 20,000. Hell, you want to carry mobile in hand first because that the personality starts. The one who carries the mobile in hand, the other one carries little costlier, they change it. It's all ego, full of himself, psychological component. We always think of connect with the social life by carrying our ego mindedness. So as I keep on saying ego, I'll go with the more adding with the experience of mind. So how you are going to build? So this entire event of this particular topic is a complicated, complexity oriented. Do hear my lecture, and the slides are going to be second. Now, the inner mind. We always want to go with our inner mind interest. What is it? We carry something, that's called ulnokam, uh, ulterior. It's called ulterior. It means you have a back of your mind, you expect something. You expect something. That's called ulterior. You want something, you want to carry, it is for your personality life, it is what you like to learn, new learning, which is always behind your brain, mind burning like a flame. So, any human doing any events, doing any mind of exercises or inner mind connect, he wants to do, then it means a negative or it means something inner mind, ulterior mind that you would like to expect something out of it. There, let's stand. So that is, we call it as ego. We would say two types: positive ego, negative ego. Positive ego, negative ego. This one I will talk about a little later. Meditation with all purpose yoga. I will carry that. Anyway, this is also quite concerned. We'll go to the next. Here the very important. Let's take an example of a school student. Boy starts his schooling from first standard. What he expects the moment he enters school. Till 3 years, till 6 months, 8 months, 1 year of the baby cries for what? Getting a milk. It doesn't care about anything. It is requiring a milk to be fed. So either the mother presence is there. Is she manageable to take that situation? No care about it. The child starts crying. He gets his milk immediately. He gets his milk. So the problem resolved. So his ego of getting milk, keep aside the hungry. But what he wants, he is getting it. That it is the nature of unconsciousness. The child always lives on unconsciousness. It doesn't know anything. 3 years later, he gets into a primary school in India. We want to start the schooling of the day one in first and by third age, fourth age. In Japan, they start the schooling only after sixth age. But India, very quite vulnerable country, and they want to have learning everything too early. So they start the school very fast. So till the time of at home, he was getting everything resolved, getting everything whatever each month as a child. But the moment he enters the school, he doesn't get his need immediate. He has to wait. He has to wait for the eating time. He has to wait for going to the washroom. Everything he cannot do the moment he expects. So there he demands. There he demands what his ego is there. He starts with his own ego that I want to go to immediate food plate. But school does not allow. The moment the school does not allow, the school nursery does not allow, he is not getting passed. That means he is not getting succeeded. He fights for getting it, he doesn't get it. So the need called ego. He is wanting to get it, but he doesn't get it. So his ego breaks on it. I want it. I want it. No, you won't get. Wait for 10 minutes. Then his ego arrives. There only he starts ego. Naturally is getting gradually understanding what is need to be getting and what is not need to be likewise. So by fourth age, anything he cries for, he is not getting, then his ego starts asking for it. So gradually he is moving towards subconsciousness. He was earlier in unconscious. I'm trying to put my word very carefully. He was living for up to certain age unconscious. Now gradually is moving towards subconscious mode, understanding of what he would get, what he would not get. But if he is given free hand, he will go and catch his holding plate, take his food immediately. His ego will never arrive. The moment he gets the plate, his ego does not arrive. But he was stopped. You cannot have your food now. Wait at 12 o'clock. Then his ego arrives. why I should not get my plate. I'm trying to practically explain every human being, every insect, every animals, everyone carries ego. But what is ego? It's an enemy. Again, we call it that. Mr. Ego, enemy. So we have to kill it. If anybody comes to me, I'm having ego, sir. I don't know how to break that ego. Show it to me, we will kill it. We will kill your ego. He cannot, because he cannot have ego every time in his life, every entire 24 hours. So repeatedly I'm trying to explain about ego, positivity, negativity. So there it starts connecting the subject of inner mind, inner interest. Let's call the word of inner interest. So these both are similarity of meaning, similarity of understanding, but at last, how we are going to coping skill of inner interest. Very important, 6 important ego. Everybody wants to talk. I'm talking to you now. I'm trying to explain you the meaning of ego, meaning of inner interest. What does it mean? Ravichandran is trying to communicate. And whatever Ravichandran says, that right, he is the correct man. That the intention first arise in the human mind. Anybody comes and saying, no, whatever you have given the speech is not correct. Then my ego may arise. Then I will ask for the reason. Then I may try to learn. If I don't learn, then I would fight. Then I carry my negative attitude. So if I start learning what the other one say, similar to me, there's a single instinct, individual man. I accept the other views, feelings, expressions, opinions. It means positive attitude. So you are trying to learn ego in a well-mannered by removing yourself from the egoism. So everyone say he's a egoistic man. Egoistic man. Unless until he does not accept others, he keeps saying whatever I say is right, then he may be an egoist. But if we start learning, he's trying to eliminate, he's trying to learn what does the other one say. When the other one says, trying to make you to commit to the one what he says, then it becomes his ego is getting succeeded. Look at it. Either he gets succeeded or you get succeeded. Here, everywhere, there is an important learning. You focus how to come out, how to empathize, lack of understanding, less feeling on all those. I'll go with the next very quickly. So you will understand. Now, this is also a very important point. If you have, I'm going to put it in a different way of explaining now. If you have these important characteristics within you, is called your ego balanced mind. You are importantly balancing yourself. That is what I could find out of this. Positive attitude, negative attitude, self-confidence. There are several people in this world have their own confidence. I will do I can succeed. I have my every ability to perform and make sure what I said is correct. So it's called self-confidence. Second is assertive minded. This is again you are calculatively measuring about the others and trying to manage to make it possible. Accepting others' feelings. Okay. Third is recognition and prestige. Someone will always fight for it. What for? What for? Recognize. Whatever he says is correct. This is what they want to have it in their mind. Either good, bad, positive, negative, or keep aside. Anything he says, he is wanting to be recognized. He is looking at the recognition as his own prestige. He believes in this prestige, so he wants to achieve it by way of lot of whatever the manner that required at that point of time for it. In corporate companies, you go, everybody in the boardroom also they fight. The director and the director fights. Many technical and HR managers fight. Accounts and operation team will fight. Everybody fights. Students fight with their parents. Parents fight with their children. Children fight with their faculties. Faculties fight with their management board. The management fights with the educational system, universities. Everybody fights across, vertical to vertical, parallel to parallel, peer to peers. What for? To succeed of their own intention. Now their what is positive? Is he fighting for the right or wrong? That's all. Somebody will have an inflated ego. Inflated means too much. He never accepts others' opinion. Good or bad, I say you do it. There it ends. So these are balancing act, self-confidence, assertive mind, recognition, prestige, ambition. You want to achieve it. How you can manage it this? How you can positively drive it? When you demand of your own egoism, you need to listen. If you have the capability of listening others, accepting others' mind opinion, I think you are okay, man. Don't worry about ego. You will have ego. You cannot break ego in your life at all. Then if you don't have ego, you are a dead asset. You are just dead. Then how you are going to cope up, how you are going to learn others, how you are going to make your smiled face in spite of you are not getting your point addressed. You need to be quite tactful. Managing your failure also, consciously accepting as smiled face. Don't go with revenge. In HR companies, all corporates, small companies, medium enterprise, they try to abuse, they try to challenge it, they try to revenge the one to the other. So keep your face smiled, keep the situation in accepting mode. So you no need to worry about the ego if you have. Don't care about it, let it come along with you. So the moment I say your ego can go along with you and you are trying to manage, sometimes you fail, sometimes you succeed, your inner interest also met over there. That's why I'm putting both are close to similarity, close to fight each other, close to reach your own sets of goals. Your own sets of goals. Well, superego includes information about things that are viewed as a bad by parents and society. Certain people will always carry bad image, bad light on others. Socially connected, you look at it, doctors are cheaters, police are scoundrels, advocates are cheaters, educationists are money makers. Sorry. Many social community, whoever is giving service to the public, they are not having a right name. Why? Why they are called bad elements? Because every day you need them. The father at home, I don't think any father will carry the best name in his life. Among the children, among the wife, among the spouse, among the family, the father will always have his scorecard, his mark sheet, 100 out of only 45. Anybody is there in this place, got the best father at home, they can raise, they can raise their voice. I am the good father at home. Every time, maybe one or two times, you could be all right, but most of the life, it takes because the cage living with adult animals or poor together, even you live for one day or you live for 40 years, nobody will carry good name at home. Nobody will carry good at their workplace. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. So, subconsciously, egos need to be balanced by various factors, which I give you by point. Next, you will understand. So, pick yourself wherever you are. Wherever you are not, you could be victimized. So, try to learn along with me. Along with me. You two alone, not along with me, because every individual is need to learn ego versus inner mind to learn. We call it by Mr. Ego. Mr. Ego is everywhere, around the globe, around the world. How bad, our American president, previous American president, had his bad ego mannerism. Trump, Trump was considered the worst egoistic man in the world. Okay. If you don't balance your inner mind, if you don't accept your inner mind, which makes you bad among everybody, and your intention is also unclear, it becomes the biggest trouble. You can see that there are several people who always fight for everything. They don't accept. As I earlier said, that many companies chairmen, many companies, your boss, they will all fight for one another, even you do good or bad. There would have many troubles in their many matters, personal matters, family matters, social matters. They always carry negative. Negativities need to be managed. You need to balance it similar to work-life model too. So this topic I am taking that very carefully today. Started with the ego of children, ego of adult. Both I am coming up. as we mostly talk about adult, but child ego is everywhere spreaded across. So we are a child at certain point of time. Fight for it, unconsciously fight for like feeding milk. So you see it yourself, you may get it. These points are very important, just note it. Okay. Certain things I want to explain over here. Very important. I just want to read out complementary transaction. Complementary transaction. You just take a note, or I can share you very important characteristics about. If you can try learning these, I think you can easily manage yourself, like earning money, spending money, earning working place, earning life place. So similar to it, this topic of ego versus inner interest, you can easily learn it. So I'll give you 4 important points today and try to close this topic quickly. As I said, you must have a clear confidence on you. The confidence does not mean that one should be successful man. Confidence does not mean everybody's to be succeeded in their life. Let's take this life, it starts with the birth and death. So if you fail it, don't feel it's a death. Consider it's a death. If you succeed, you feel it is a rebirth. So everybody is in this globe born for completing their life only successful. The essence of success, the essence of failure, I repeatedly say it is a tasteless. It doesn't carry taste of anything over a period of age. I talk like a saint. I talk like a saint because I don't know. My age is 50 plus, so I'm trying to convince you like a saint or whatever you feel it or not. But if you start learning this model of understanding, you can peacefully go with every success and every failure makes nothing important. So have a better confidence, have assertive minded. Yes, one should always have a recognition. He can carry his prestige. Some people feel that I may not get this, so I'm trying to do this. I may not make it up, so I'm trying to make it up. Some people will start buying their property too early with large amount of debit. They will say, I want to buy it because I may not be in a position to buy it after 5 years. Does it carry anything inflated ego? It's all positivity. Someone will always try to do it earlier. Early, bird get succeed. There is a proverb like early arriving bird will have its own life. So I may not be in a position to do later, so I'll do it today. I may not be able to buy it, so I will do it today. So are we planning, do I am ready for dying early? In this world, do anybody say that I want to die early? Anyway, I am going to die. So one should have the courage, dynamic mind to accept things and plan for everything, including this end of life. This is what I feel it sometimes. The honorable death is quite important. I'm talking about ego and inner mind interest. All please look at it. Ravichandran would like to have his death honorable. Anyway, I'm going to die, but honorable death is quite important. Everybody asks for it. Some people will say, I want to die when I sleep. 99% of the people in the world want to die during sleep. Hmm. What? It's a God sake. So why I'm talking this? Everybody classically want to get their achievements of life peaceful, but we don't get. We fight for it. We fight for everything. We try to acquire. So it becomes ego. So it's all about. I want to complete this session now. I took almost 45 minutes. Anybody is keen to raise a question? Anybody who is facing the situation of their others who is trying to put you into a bar, behind bar, fight for everything with you. Personal questions can be raised. I can try communicating because the going on situation of life of today in HR, every departments in companies, every corporate life, every personal life, having no acceptance, non-acceptance of others' situation. You see, there are several people gives advice to others. So, since I am on the platform of communicating you, I am actually trying to advise because this platform is made for it. We are trying to communicate, negotiate, like. But advice giving to your interest of mind already tuned up to the other who is listening at you may not necessarily accept. Your ego arrives, it does not accept. So you fight for it. Anyway, so let's um, take it up this situation very carefully. As I said, I want to repeatedly say, if you have a self-confidence, don't bother. Your ego will support you. Live with it. Carry the best meaningful understanding and meaningful explaining. Then it means your inner interest is possible. Number two, am I assertive? Assertive means accept of others' opinion, accepting of your opinion, accepting of others, and at last you go with your own interest and managing it carefully. Don't care about ego. Don't care about anything. Have this ego. But inner interests need to be carefully managed by balancing the right act. So that's called inner interest. Number three, recognition and prestige. Prestigious mind. Someone will always happy keep their mind recognized. Recognition is an important. It's an important for every instant. So have the ego, have the inner interest positive. Explain carefully why do I say this. So recognition and prestige. The prestige makes essence of life. People should not abuse. People should not take advantage of it. People should not take everything granted and do without your acceptance. At home, you can see who raises voice larger, louder, they become smart enough called over. They are achievers. So need to be very careful at home, social life, everywhere. Your prestige need to be maintained. Positive, negative, decide. Be careful. So don't care about your ego. Live with the ego, with inner mind clearly transformed in an acceptable mode for everybody. One or two, there are always difficulties. Finally, ambition. I explained 4 points. Last is ambition. Your ambition is always, it takes its own time to reach. Somebody will fight at home. Somebody will fight always their family. Fight for something. Ambition. His own ambition he will enforce to everybody. But nobody understands. No one could really understand because your environment is different. At home, the spouse could be different. Your child could be different. But if you dictate, then you become a bad. If you take it diligently, intellectually, explaining things, who is going to listen at you? At home, anybody listens at you? Maybe you can live your social life subject to because you may be a boss, you may be the leader. Even your leader, nobody cares today. So, where at home? Home I am saying because everywhere we need to conduct the social life also at home. So, try your attitude and ambition is very important. So, this can be achieved for a period of age. Anything you explain to your children, anything to your spouse, anything to your families, they don't get to understand. So you need to enforce, maybe, I don't know. At last, achievements will come later. Later. So till then you have to go with the life. So ambition is need to be really careful. So attitude, positive, important. So don't care about the ego, inner interest is quite important. Once you manage it, your ego need to be a surveillance to you. It's need to be along with you. You go with it, it's an enemy, live with the enemy together with the shoulder to shoulder. That's it. Thank you so much. Let's carry this session. I hope that's taken you more clearer picture about, and I would like to complete the session, and Dr. Ravindra will take this and take further next level. Thank you so much, Dr. Ravindra.
Thank you, Ravichandran. So, can you sum up, in a minute, what is ego? And whether it is beneficial or whether it is, being presented in a positive note or a negative note?
By any chance you are raising a question to me? Because I was busy.
Yeah, because, the presentation, it somewhat left out in some middle of the way, somewhere in the middle of the way. So this is one query from one of the participants in chat box. So what the message says is whether I am confused, whether ego is good or bad. I mean, it has to be promoted or it has to be,
Ego is the one very important to every individual. It's need to be only assessed whether it is a positive or negative. He himself need to decide. The villain of any movie or the villain in his life he decides whatever I do is right, then his ego is either bad or good. If his own mindset says it is good, then let him maintain. If the hero feels that whatever I do, I am the right man, and he wants to go with that kind of consciously, then let him maintain the ego. It's all the growth of his own mind. It's called a transcendence. There I want to put a word called transcendence. Transcendence is the meaning of whatever you learned in your life and you are trying to explain, you are trying to communicate, and you are trying to convince. That is called learning. You learn. Good you learn from your childhood. Bad you learn from your childhood. But for you, even the bad is good. Then if you find yourself, oh my goodness, long time I lived in, I did bad things. So I want to move towards positive side. He wants to become a hero in a movie. So look at it, many villains, end of the movie, he will say, I'm sorry, I did bad in my life. I want to become a right man. So there from bad to good, if we accept, that is the between word called transcendence. I'm putting a word called the transcendence. So ego is important. Repeatedly I'm saying, good ego, bad ego, super ego, id. Id is a child. Id is a child. You can't have id, ID. ID means you are a totally unconscious state. All the time you cry for everything. All the time you fight, you kill the people in cinemas. Good or bad, I don't care. I'll kill you. You are against me. That's it. That's called id. Ego is important. How you are going to manage like work-life balance we are talking now? Yes. Anything else, sir? Is this clear? Hello. You can't remove your id. Sorry, you can't remove your ego.
No, actually, what psychology says, we all have these three, according to Freud's theory of psychology, what it says is we have these three as part of our personality: ego and superego.
Correct.
These are three parts, or every stage, every moment of the life, we are going through this.
Exactly.
So, but what id is our instincts. What ego is reality, and what superego is morality. Say, suppose now I want a job, thinking that now that is my instinct, I need a job. What my ego says, you get a job at anywhere, even if you do corruption, even if you bribe, even if you do anything, you need to somehow get a job. But what morality says, I should get a job in a righteous way, in a genuine way, in a proper way. So these are differences. I mean, there is a lot if you have to talk. We can talk hours together, days together.
That's what.
But this is a HR perspective. We are talking in a HR perspective. I'm just giving an example. Id is what, the instincts are like, I need a job or I need a promotion. But ego says, promotion, we need promotion, but how? No matter what the means, no matter what the ways, you have to get the promotion. But what superego says, no, you have to get a promotion, but through a proper way. If you are eligible, first become eligible, meet the eligibility requirements. Then accordingly, you go through proper channel, proper procedure, then you get the promotion. So this is generally, in simple. I don't want to complicate. That's why in simple terms, I have told you. So you were talking about ego. Ego means ego, what it will say, no matter what, you satisfy whatever your desires is, wants is, aspirations are. So on which we have to focus more.
You're more focused, as I said, there are important points. Self-confidence, assertivity mind, recognition and prestige. Again, I said ambition. These are four important points. Sufficient. Let's not get it too much of confusing ourselves. Four important points. Self-confidence, you are clear with the highest visualized model of understanding. Go with it. Even the ego comes along because you want to achieve certain things. So that is where the self-confidence. Your achievement requires a lot of combination of mixture. For assertiveness, continuity. Your mind is clearly indicated that you should do. Again, how? Positively. Right sense, righteous manner. Again, recognition prestige in the society. You want to achieve it by whatever the way, but it makes you to be a recognized man. Your prestige you want to maintain. You said a word, I will do this. So you want to achieve it at all cost. So there your prestige stands. It's good or bad, keep aside. But achieving is all called again ego. Do not worry. We are not talking good or bad over here. Ambition, the continuity, how conviction. Even he does that, Afghanistan wants to carry their life by doing killing of everything. It's all conviction they have. For their own book of understanding, complete the task at all costs. We as a other side of the other country, we talk their interest is back to the world. But they have their own intention. That is their own ambition and conviction. We are not talking about the good or bad here. But again, their egos need to be met. They are trying to achieve it. They want to carry further towards. That's it. So try balancing these four important points. Are you okay? You check yourself. Are you okay? Are you okay or not okay? Are you okay to the society? Are you okay to the family? Are you okay to the profession? Are you okay to your education? So try understand these are ticked rightfully. Otherwise, there is nothing to worry about ego, which is anyway going to come along with you as long as the sense of our subconscious works. Carry ego, carry ego. At last, positive, negative. Positive, negative, you need to assess. That's it. Is this fine, sir?
Actually, we have this dilemma all along the life. Basically, the concept of ego or super ego actually talks about one's personality. Some who
Exactly.
is God-fearing or some who is, more thinking of righteous ways. They will their, the personality is more dominated by super ego because they want, say, suppose a person like me is always, more prominent is super ego because I always think of morality. See, for me, if I have to get something done, if I have to achieve something, I always ensure that I go in a right way. I follow everything. And the end doesn't matter for me. I put all the efforts. If it comes, fine. If it doesn't come, fine. But I never take the shortcut or other routes to achieve that. Though I have the capability, though I have the advantage, but I never take that advantage because my inner sense, my inner conscious, my super ego doesn't allow me to take that. So this mostly talks about our, which one is dominant or which one is more proactive. If my ego is proactive, I will never think. Most of the people on the planet are, they are dominated by ego. They don't care. See why they don't care about nature. That's why they cut trees. They encroach forest. They even encroach lands. All these,
Exactly.
perpetrators, all these murderers or dacoits, or for matter, to some extent, these thieves, they don't bother. Their ego is dominant. Their super ego, they are making, they are making their, they are suppressing their super ego, and there the id and ego are more prominent. Because they want that, and they are at any cost. Now see like some businessmen nowadays we see they have the world's most accumulated wealth on the planet. If we see the world's richest top 20 people has all the wealth on the planet. Now, for them, the ego is dominant because they don't care about others. If they could have cared about others, they couldn't have accumulated that wealth. Even if they have accumulated so much wealth, they couldn't have accumulated, or at least after accumulating, they could have done something that was beneficial to the planet. But still, they have their own, even when they are doing something, they invest 1 rupee and they expect 10 rupees, either in the form of name, fame, publicity, like I am doing so and so charity. But what you are doing, you are polluting the environment, you are polluting the natural resources, and you are playing with the lives, and all these things are happening. So Freud's concept of id, ego, or superego was trying to define the personality, what kind of personality a person possesses. You can say if person is more materialistic minded, money minded, and he doesn't care about people, he doesn't care about nature, he doesn't care about anyone else, then his ego is dominant. That's why he don't care for anyone, not even for plants, not even for animals, not even for nature, not even for environment, not even for planet. That's why today we are facing is because we are dominated by ego. Most of the human beings are dominated by the ego, or their ego personality, or their ego is dominating them. You can take it either way. So that's why we are not bothered about others. We are not bothered about environment. We are not bothered about nature. We are only bothered about us. I is important. I don't say I is not important. I is very important. At the same time, not to that extent, only I remains. Nothing but I. That is very dangerous. That is what is happening. I is important because self-identity or self-realization or a concept of self is required, but not to the extent that only I remains and we do not appear anywhere. So maybe you can focus on these aspects in coming days and try to explore how we can correlate these concepts into HR or these things. You also send me this PPT. Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
you complete. I will also go through, and maybe we can further take this topic forward in a different way.
Sure. Okay, so we have a different complexity, like perception mind. There are several important topics need to be discussed upon large crowds, large people. They will understand how perception mind also very bad to an individual, similar to ego. There are several topics which we cannot claim you learn because it's every day it's a part and parcel of every individual life. You decide one thing, it happens the other. At last your perception gets failed. Anything you will know, last years together you achieved it, but again your perception changes every next day, every moment. So you cannot be a successful man. Every day life is a next day. So similar to your life going is also similar to the ego, perception, very complexity. So psychologically, it's purely based on the time to time, moment to moment, situation to situation. We always want to reach, and at last, what? What cost? Is this right or wrong? So how we can decide about right, wrong? It's only learning, going across verticals, understanding people like us, people like you meet. If Dr. Ravindra met by 10 people with the kind of his attitude, then anybody learns from him as he is a guru of certain thing. Naturally, he goes on one. But other side, a person who does not care about this, and though he might be doing the similarity of education, he could have met with all the time rushers and fight for only money making, revenue making, IT company. What do they do, They take a company project for 1 year, 2 years. They will say we will complete it. But second year when comes, they will create a new bugging and start with another 1 year added over and they go with it. Any IT company, you look at it, they start with the project of 1 year, 2 years, but they'll pull it along for 4 years, 5 years. It's all a kind of the nature business. So why I'm saying is this, the good reaches to the other good. It's all reflection. The life is a reflection. As long as you go to the right path, you always meet the good people, good nature, similarity of you. It's a reflection. It's like a mirror. The life is a mirror. If you are going somewhere in a wronger direction, naturally you'll be filled with all culprits, whatever we call it. Huh? So many people, like you can see, they could have passed through bad times because their mind itself could have been bad. All the time thinking negative, many could have gone. So they will also come along with negativity. So right mind always gets the right happening. Thank you. Anything else, sir? Easily you can assess it. You can easily assess it of seeing your own for the past 10 years of life, how, where you are today. 10 years behind, where were you? Where are you today? With happy or unhappy? Very important, happiness and unhappiness. Many people makes money, but are they really good in spending their money on time? Money need to be spent. There are several people who have a bank balance, very large amount, but they don't have time to go and spend it because they are working middle of the night today. All the life they are working. IT company, many of them are working, they don't have time to spend it. That's why they go on 25th onwards of December and January 1st on for 5 days, 6 days like an American. They spend their maximum money on the sixth day, 6 days. Anyway, so we are Americans, we are Europeans. The world goes on leave from 25th onward to till 1st. And we as a Hindu or Indian, we don't go for Pongal holiday, we don't go for Navaratra 10 days leave. We go leave on Christmas holidays.
That is why today entire population is suffering. That is why today human beings are also going to become
Indians
extinct.
are suffering,
Because we
Asians
are going against our own nature.
Yes, we don't
Because
understand
all the
our nature.
festivals, all the customs and traditions are to protect nature, are to protect environment. But when we forgo them, then we will forgo ourselves.
That
We
is
are
not
digging our
happening.
own graves.
We are
Exactly,
constructing
that is happening.
our own
See,
grave.
if mother, because what we have done, mother is taking care of children. Mother Earth is taking care of all the children. But one child, which is a human being, is torturing, killing, abusing the other children, other siblings. This is what human being is doing. Plants, animals, other species are all siblings to human being. But what human being is doing? He is dominated by ego, and he says only I should exist, only I should survive. I am not bothered. And he started killing. He started abusing. He started. That is what, in simple context, to understand.
So, yeah,
That's
exactly
why
what you say is
now
correct.
mother, what she has to do? She has to terminate that fellow so that other children has to survive. Now mother has left with no option to save other children. It has to terminate this deviated, notorious criminal. That is what
Exactly.
is going to happen. Whether we learn lessons now or already we are paying, we are going to pay a hefty price in coming days. I have given in a very simple form.
Exactly.
Now, beyond this, no one can explain. We are killing our own siblings. We are abusing our own siblings. We are, without understanding that they also have equal rights on all the property of the planet. They also belong to the same mother which human beings belong to. But human beings having an advantage, what they are doing? He has become Ravana. Human beings, entire human beings population have become Ravanas, have become Shaitan, have become Satan for the planet. Now, Mother Earth, as a God, as a Jesus, as a Ram, as a Allah, what it has to do? It has to kill the Satan, kill the Shaitan, kill the devil. Who is the devil here? Human beings.
Exactly.
So in a very simple way, now what God has to do, what Mother Earth has to do,
We need to live with our own.
now it is time for us
That
who
is all what
Shaitans,
similar to the workplace.
we have become
Similar to the
notorious
workplace.
criminals. So we have to learn. If we continues to dominate with our own ego, then definitely we have to pay the price. God will not forgive us. Mother Earth will not forgive us. Nature will not forgive us. Environment will not forgive us. We have to pay. Now, who is responsible for all these? This human being.
It's all learning curve. It's all learning curve. One should know what is Saturn, what is wrong, what is right. It's all need to be learned by over a period of time. This is what you are saying exactly. The mother has to decide. The earth has to decide. As I said, one point is like working our culture of India, in particularly all the companies, world of India today. India is not the world, but India is many of the companies take a leaves in the end of the December, not middle of any pujas. Only December 24th later they take. Similar to it, we all love to eat the Australian apples, not the Indian mangoes. There is a season of food. We always want to maintain some prestige. We go with the other country fruits. It's all ego. It goes. What we say, the child, Saturn, all similar. You look at it, very commonly you can see. Lot of Australian apples, lot of foreign foods, fruits. Are we with that? Some years behind, 20 years behind, did you see any apple with a sticker? Very big retail showroom, they are having an apple with the sticker fixed on top of it coming from Australia. They don't care about the India banana. They don't care about India mango. It's commonly available during the season. Any seasonal food should be eaten. That's very important for the nature of life. Everything is money, mind, everything want to live a prestige. As I said, prestige. I explained recognition and prestige. You want to have the European life standard, means you are a prestigious. If you drink Coca-Cola and Pepsi, you are a prestige man. Similar to it, children, what doctor was explaining. Bad, good, nobody knows. Only they want to live the marketable product available in the world. They want to consume it. Simple. Great, sir. What you said is exactly a correct pointing. Anything else, doctor? Tell me from my side.
Thank you, Ravichandranji. It was a nice session, and it triggered so many similar thoughts, and I think we need to try to use the concepts in, because one of my Swamiji, who is my Acharya, when satsang was going on, or when we were having discourse, when Swamiji was delivering a discourse, I asked Swamiji, why the same concept can be told. In fact, I have put in some other way. Okay, let me put in the same way I have asked. Especially, he was, delivering a discourse, and it was in Tamil. It was part of Divya Prabha. And there were non-Tamil speakers. They were understanding nothing. Because Nalairam, everything, these 4,000 verses are in Tamil. So I asked Swamiji, because, he was not aware, actually it is not his mistake. He was not aware that the people doesn't know Tamil. He, as a routine, he started his discourse. But a group of people came from Andhra, and they were guests for the day. They visited temple, and they came for Swamiji darshan. As usual, Swamiji started discourse regularly, because generally village people and nearby people come, disciples, and started, but none of them, majority of group were not able to understand. And even there were some Tamil people, they were also not able to understand. So I was asking, but somehow, some, Tamilians also, they asked Swamiji, what is the meaning of the verse you have just now read out? Generally, they give Vakhyana, after reciting the verse, they explain it. Because we don't know, we don't understand. Like in Sanskrit, we say shloka and we explain that shloka. Similar way. So when we ask, why the same shloka or the same verse is not being understood in the same way to all the disciples over there, to all the members over there. Then Swamiji, he gave a reply. Not everyone has the same level of understanding, same level of perception, same level of, the perspective or the same kind of perspective or the same kind of education, the same kind of experiences, the same kind of exposure. So these are the various factors that makes person to understand the same thing in a different way. So that's how, though the concept is same, but many times it happens, it also depends on how it is conveyed, who conveys it, in what way it conveys it, the kind of presentation.
Knowledge. Yes.
All these also matters. So, similar way, these concepts like nowadays, why we are talking about all this is we are becoming more and more materialistic. We want to possess more things rather than, because of these concepts like even if you drink or if you don't drink, you are going to die. Why not drink and die? That is a notion, that is a perception of the present people nowadays. They want to enjoy and die. Anyway, they are not going to live now. Even if they don't enjoy, if they enjoy, even if they drink, even if they don't drink also, they are going to die. There is no guarantee that, of course, the possibility of dying or death is more when you drink more. But at the same time, there is no guarantee that if you don't drink, you will die late. Because death, again, is dependent on various other factors. And these life and death and similar concepts are not so easy to understand, beyond our understanding.
That does not carry any seniority or juniority. It can come at any given time.
Certain concepts, are so complex and also so easy.
As you come across the lifestyle, that's it. Today the lifestyle is meeting our system and meeting people like you. He's learning something. The discourse of your guru, you are saying, explaining, these all makes the essence of you learning. So here we are transiting to the next level. Here the positive comes, that's it. Whoever not met your discussion, discourse or anything, and he moved to cinema theater, watching all the time Rajinikanth is going to win the match. Everybody knows Rajinikanth is going to win the match. Chiranjeevi is going to win the match on the screen. And still they want to see, they are seeing for the past 50 years, cooked up story. So this is all the life. Where you are learning, there you are transiting. Like you are talking with your guru, explaining things. Exactly correct, sir. What you all meaning. Very important.
But the entire life, is been, the life experiences are available, are presented in Vedas or Nalayaram or Divya Prabandham, Upanishads. We are not reading them. That's why we are losing our own knowledge. We are not able to gain the knowledge which our ancestors, which our elders has acquired. So we are again starting from zero. So that is what our greatest blunder we have committed, especially with Indian population or with Indian culture. We are just putting, saying that these are not relevant, Vedas are not relevant,
Every
Upanishads.
old is bad for today.
But old
Everybody
is
feels
gold.
the old is the best.
But old is gold.
Old is gold, we keep on
Uh,
saying. But the
but
old is bad,
unfortunately,
not necessary. This is what these in our heritage. India is the world heritage. India is not a country, India is a heritage. And we have the Divya Prabandham, Upanishad, like verses, lakhs of years old. There is no exact data available when it was. But
no. We have all the records.
yeah,
If you can visit, even the embargier can give you all the account. If you go and meet him, he will give you everything. You can verify it also. So there is nothing like, maybe other religions don't have an account, but we have all the accounts. It is not written or it is not printed because we don't believe in that. We believe in memorizing. Because what is written can be lost. Like, see the huge library, how many libraries in Takshashila, Nalanda, and all these ancient universities, across the world, people used to come to India and study. But what
exactly.
these Mughals, these invaders have done, all burnt all the libraries because they don't want that knowledge to be spread to others.
Yes, they burned
That
it.
heinous act, such a heinous act is never commemorated because one community will be blamed forever for their ugliest act. So this
Prove
is,
that
these things are happened, but we
at
don't
that,
want to remember them because certain communities, what they have done is most heinous act on the planet. But what to do? People are not all people are good now. That is the problem.
every time that was the time, that was their play, that was their decision made at the that is what the mental growth of those days. And today, if we go and challenge it and revenge it, then our purpose of life gets free. That's the problem. So we know no one can revenge it, but it all happened. Lot of libraries, anywhere the emperors of Mughals come, first they burn their books and libraries of everything. Then only they take the assets. They burn the religionism of the library. Several libraries were burned. Volites, readables. They were not able to break the stones. All the scripts are available on stone scripts. But otherwise, they burn huge amount of books, libraries, Volite, Chori, exactly what you mean it correct.
Not only that, they looted,
They
even
looted
these
it, the others'
French
property.
Britishers, they
Yeah,
destroyed many
property they
temples, they
looted it.
destroyed many monuments, and, they looted
Exactly.
all
They
these buildings.
looted everything, whatever they
So
can
these are
carry
the
it.
traitors. These are the
Whatever they don't
dacoits. And
want it,
today,
they burnt it. That's it.
unfortunately, they are the ones who are glorified in textbooks. And that is what being learnt by our children. And what better you can expect from them? They will glorify these dacoits, these robbers, these traitors, and these all rapists, murderers. All are there in the books. And what you can expect the present generation? They are going to praise them only. That is what entire education gone off track.
Previous
You
time,
are
the movie name
glorifying the
called
rapist. You
Ramayana,
are glorifying.
Mahabharata. This time there are movies called Ramayana, Mahabharata. Today the movie name called Ravana. Every negative characters are taken for movies making, social life making. giving the big glorified scenes for them. What he did is challenging. So everybody have the good villain in the movie, not the hero cap. The movie need to succeed. They want the best villain actor. This is all the glorified scenes of today. The movie need to succeed. I'm just giving in a very wrong way of understanding things convincingly. A movie need to succeed by not hero. The best villain act is important. Look at it. Everything negative carries becoming a style of life. A boy who was entering in my classroom late, I asked him, what about why you are late? Sir, it's a fashion. Coming late itself is a fashion today. He was joking. I was shocked. Fashion. Coming late is a fashion. Doing things are
Today, the problem with today's generation is they don't believe Rama existed. They don't believe Krishna existed, but they believe Pokemon existed. This
super
is the
smart.
this is the
Pokemon
most
is
foolish thing
existing.
on the planet. And that's why we are paying today is because of that only. We say Chandamama is there. We have our own rhymes. Chandamama Rave, Jabili Rave, you used to tell. Because Chandamama is existing there. Who is Humpty Dumpty fell in a well? Who is Humpty? Who is Dumpty? Which no Indian population has seen, but every children in India is learning that rhyme, stupid rhyme. Now, what do you expect from children? This is the most irrelevant culture that is being dominated. And what best you can expect? This is what happening, when we talk the relevant or irrelevant, these irrelevant things are being promoted.
Britishers entered into India, they killed our knowledge by putting their knowledge first.
That's what they
Did
wanted.
it, and we are
Vested interests
disciplinarily
are
managing it.
promoted, unfortunately. And we finally we all end up like a fools. Today, we are simply following them. We are scapegoats. We are fools, though we call ourselves as highly educated, highly wisdom. But what we are doing, we are
They
following
globalize it.
things.
Their entire practice, they globalize it. Why the English born?
No, there is
The
nothing wrong
global,
in learning one language. What
not
I'm telling
language,
is
because
that in their culture,
exactly,
their context,
Britishers,
it is relevant, but it is not relevant here.
exactly.
What you have to learn is what is relevant.
Wherever Britishers went, they spreaded their knots. So their knots have become important to the world of today.
See, Islam never existed in India. Christianity never existed in India. When they came
Exactly.
with the French invaders or invaders, in fact, they were traders earlier, later became invaders and started invading country, started
Spreaded their
war on Indian kings and these French colonies, these British colonies, these Mughals, all these and various after that. They were all were invaders, but today they are glorified in all the books. Now, whose responsibility is that? Whom we are glorifying? The murderers, the rapists, the dacoits, the robbers. They are being glorified, and there is no mention. And if you put one chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is a huge cry. Why? Because we all have been brainwashed in such a manner that people with vested interest have created so much hatred, so much
exactly.
hatred against our own culture, our own tradition. And we call ourselves as, so much intelligent, but we are the most, respected fools of the planet. because we don't really understand these concepts. We are just going by the flow, unfortunately.
As much as you are against your own practice, then you become an intelligent man. This is what we believe. If we abuse our own religionism, if we abuse or criticize our own practice, then we feel we are a good, qualified, intelligent.
See, it is not that we have
This
in
is what
India,
I'm
so we
feeling
are
of life
opposite.
today.
Even if Ravichandran is born in India, so Ravichandran will definitely advocate his own culture and tradition. If Ravichandran has born in America, he would definitely promote America only. So that is what I am trying to say is, you wherever you are there, wherever you belong to, you should follow them, you should preserve them, you should conserve them.
Naturally.
Not that you came from some other, you are in India and you are following America or some other country, or you are in America or having some other. No, you have to follow whatever is you. It is your responsibility to carry forward your cultures and tradition. At the same time, because we are in a global village, we need to appreciate, and if possible, along with your own culture and tradition, you can follow others also, but not at the cost of forgoing your own culture and tradition. That is wrong. That is what we are doing. We are not against any culture, any tradition, but that should not be carried forward at the cost of one's own culture or one's own tradition.
At last, we
What
are all
happens, that is
intelligent
why this
slaves.
criticism,
That's
why
it.
this criticism is coming, is only because you are neglecting one and you are promoting one. And the one which is neglected is your own identity, is your own culture. And tomorrow, once that disappears, your identity is lost. Now, who are you? You cannot say I'm an American because you never were born there. You never belong to America. Now, where is your identity? Your identity is lost. How you can say this is my culture? Culture is lost. How you can say this is my language? Your language is lost, disappeared. So what happened? So what is going to happen? You will lose your identity. That is going to happen, and that is what people are doing. So that many cultures, many languages are disappearing. They will lose their identity and they will adopt other identity. Now tomorrow they will say, I am American or I am African, I am someone, but not Indian, because culture is lost. You don't belong to India because how you are identified? Just being born in India. Of course, you are born in India, so you got a birth certificate. So you are citizen of India. Or you are born in America, you got citizenship there by birth, virtue of birth, and you are identified as American. Is this only, then what is your culture again? So whatever there the culture is, you are adopting. Why? You can adopt any other country culture because that is your own culture, your own tradition. So we are not against any culture or any tradition. You can embrace each and every culture on the planet, but at the same time, not at the cost of one's own culture, one's own tradition, one's own knowledge, language, one's own belief system. That is, you are forgoing and you are promoting something other, which is not relevant. Okay, what happens? Because that is not relevant to us. And when you are taking which is not relevant to us, again, there are a lot of issues that are going to come. We cannot generalize. We cannot use it as it is. And there will be new issues, new challenges in society. Today, there are so many genders. Why? More genders are being created. Why? Because a lot of this confusion created across the world. Today, people are not able to identify whether they are male or female, or LGBTQA plus, or even 100 genders. Today, we have 100 genders, do you know, which are popularly recognized. Why this lot of confusion is being created? because of our lack of proper understanding of our own culture and tradition. That's why we are getting carried away, mixing up everything and creating a mess of it and creating a huge lot of complexity of misunderstanding. That is creating all these things. Anyway, people are destined for that, so they have to pay for it. So
we are a kind of we are a kind of intelligent slaves. We want to be a smart slaves for the global forum. We want to strive by avoiding India's practices. We call it as a heritage. Old is waste. We always want to get the updated rape and cooling less like a new religion, new practice. The olden days of our Adidas or whatever.
see that old tradition
Life by soap, they
saved
don't
our
want to
planet.
carry.
Today, because
Old
of
life by
technology,
soap, they
planet
don't
was there
want.
since billions and billions of years. But what this present technology, present day's culture and tradition is destroying the planet. Now, after 100 years, fortunately or unfortunately, because if I support Mother Earth, because that is what my super ego says, because Mother Earth is suffering, Mother Planet is suffering, Mother Nature is suffering, Mother Environment is suffering, because her own children are killing other children, because that child, human child, is a super egoistic child, and he wants the entire resources. He wants to grab the entire property of the mother and wants to eliminate, terminate all the fellow beings. Then who we should support? The mother or the brutal human being or the notorious human being who is killing other species? No. Anyway, these are things to be pondered upon because, as
You don't
rightly
need to worry about it because there are always populations on behind certain things. And things of India, India has
no,
got
we
its
need
own
not worry
heritage.
about it. Nature will take care. Definitely, the human beings.
Exactly,
One
exactly.
more
It
COVID
all
land,
happens.
no COVID-like thing, and another will come and wipe out entire population.
When we
We
talk
need not
about the
worry.
religion, yes, sir, Dr. Ravindra, it's very important. But when we talk about the religion, the Pope himself calls Pope in Rome. He's calling the people to come to a church on Sundays. They are
Wrong. Okay, let them go.
they are
What's
calling
wrong
to
in
come
that?
to the church on Sunday. Nobody goes to church on Sunday, but in other country, everywhere the globe, they go on church on Monday, Sunday morning. But the Christian community of the community I'm talking about, as much as the large population is there, they abuse it. As much as the junior level minority, they go in a team form. That is all happens. The religious practice as bigger and bigger, they don't care about anything. When you are becoming a less crowded, you want to be together, so you show your soreness. Indians are very close each other in US, but when they reach in Chennai, they don't care about each other. They go to the temple of everywhere in India when they come. If they are in the next to the neighbor door of the same temple, they never go into the temple at all. As much as we are together in a large crowd of people, we disobey. We are having a limited knowledge. Anyway, nothing is going to die. Every nation has
See,
come across such
actually,
kind of
okay,
situations.
this all came because of this, topic of id, ego, super ego.
Exactly.
Because of why we are, which factor or which principle is dominating us, accordingly we behave. So that is the personality basically. So anyway, this will keep going on until
Very
we learn
important.
lessons. Life teaches us until we learn a lesson. It keeps repeating. So it keeps repeating until we learn the lesson. Like teacher makes us to read again and again until we learn the lesson. Similar way, nature also teaches us, punishes us until we learn the lesson.
So we need to evaluate ourselves. If we evaluate, then our confidence and our learning positive ego is important. Don't worry about it. That's what I say. Positivity, if you understand, then you will respect everything. Whatever is commonly available, we try to abuse it. That's all.
So anyway,
in human mind it is.
Yeah, it's all about personality and
exactly.
This.
So let's
So
complete the session. Thank you so much, Dr. Ravindra. Let's carry up sometime sooner. And all the team members, I would like to thank you once again. And keep yourself more exploring yourself. Learn something new out there and try to present it to Dr. Ravindra as well. Thank you so much. Good night to all of you, sir. Anything else, sir?
Thank you, Ravichandanji, for your presentation. And we wish you all the success and look forward for more sessions and do complete your formalities.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you,
Today
everyone.
I was in the university exam hall. I was not able to go for things. University MBA exams are on. I came back only by 5 o'clock today. Tomorrow is also exam. I need to go by 7:30. 7:30. Thank you so much. Goodbye, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Before leaving, quickly fill up the feedback form which has been raised. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same link with different topic. Take care. Good night.